Hello, everyone. Today, such an exciting conversation for you. Uh, Thanks, everybody, for popping in quickly. I'm just going to make sure that everybody has the links that are part of the special guest today. Today, we are setting the intentions of celebrating moms all over the world. Mums United moment. This is what we're here for. This is the collective 100 Mums, 100 Dreams. And we wait and watch our guest moms pop in. I would love to just have you, Mary, talk about what this room is about and why we do what we do. Just set the stage for everybody to understand that, and then we will get everybody in here.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome. We are so excited to have you here today. And, Debbie and I have been doing this room, my goodness, over a year and a half. And we come together, we just bring the energy and the intention of heart-centered entrepreneurs. How can we change the world? We all have, as I like to say, music in our heart. And when we find that music and we play it and we show the world what our gift is, we can make such a change. So what Debbie and I love to do is highlight all of the change makers in the world. And I am beyond ecstatic today just to hear, because every single mom that is in this book is a dreamer and a change maker, whether it be in their own family, in their business. So I'm very much looking forward to speaking with everyone today. Debbie, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Mary. As you guys can hear, Mary's voice is a little raspy today. She was down and out over the weekend, and so let's all send her some of that heart healing love. If you don't know, Clubhouse now has a new feature where you can click on your own face and send an emoji to the speaker or to the collective. So let's all give Mary some hearts, and anyone else that is in the room that's needing that. So today, let's set the intention of really empowering the moms that are in this book, because oh my goodness, we have a book launch happening in only a few days. November 13th, this book hits the world. It's going to be launched globally, but first in India. And so, what's really special about that is many of the moms, some of them will be joining us today, have actually traveling to India. Some are there, some are on their way. And Khanna, who is the founder of this entire movement, will be joining us. She is actually hosting for 4 days a beautiful, energetic retreat, and this movement that's happening. I can't wait for her to come and tell us all about what she's got going. And then it ends with this beautiful gala where the media and so many of the diplomataries of have been invited to witness this. This is big, everyone. So I would love to popcorn around. And if you guys just pull to refresh right now, which means just pull down on your screen, you can see the order of the speakers. That's how they entered the room. So Stacey, you are first. And I would love for you to come off mute and just tell us your name, where you're from, and a word that explains what this movement, this project, this book means to you.
Hi, good morning. Oh, aren't I the lucky one to come on first thing? So I'm Stacey Austinson. I am from Lillooet, British Columbia, Canada. And the word that I have is inspiring.
I love that. Suresh, you're up next.
Hi, my name is Cherise Rodriguez. I am currently in Scottsdale, Arizona, although I travel around the world. And my word is it's empowering. It's been very empowering to be part of this movement.
Ooh, I can't wait to hear more from you. Wilma. Wilma, you're muted. Just click with your thumb down on your mic. Okay, let's go to Sarah.
Good morning. I'm joining you from Western Canada, Alberta, and my name is Sarah Chileen, and my word for this whole experience is connection.
Wow, I love that. Therese. Therese, you should be able to have a mic button. You can unmute down with by your thumb. There should be a little mic.
Oh, there it is. Good morning. My name is Therese Parkin. I'm from Long Beach, California. And my word for this last year with Shikha is exhilarating.
Wow, I love that. So I am also one of the mums in the book, and my name is Debbie Prediger. I am from Alberta, Canada, and my word is expansive. And I often pronounce that as expensive. And I find that's quite interesting. Expansive and expensive. I think I'm walking into this place of luxury and more, more, more. So I just had to say that. So, Mary, I'm going to hand it over to you because you probably have some questions for all of these mums. And I'm going to start pinging some of the other mums in.
Wonderful. Thank you, Debbie. And I'm going to say, I am not an author in the book, but the word that comes to me is powerful. The power of using voices, which is incredible. And I am going to lead with, I guess, powerful. I would love to ask each of you. I know that in the process you were walked through, there was an interview and you all did a YouTube where you were asked, who you are and what you do and how you make a difference in the world. And this all led up to, dreams. So how did this experience empower you as an individual? And I'd love to popcorn around. And Stacey, I'm going to start with you.
Hi, that's such a great question. So, how did this inspire me or even change me? Well, I sort of take a look at it as that I had this fire inside of me, and it it was like when I was invited to do the interview, and it kind of came about through Sarah. And when Shikha said, "Yeah, we should definitely do an interview," I was like, "Wow!" But what had come from that? It's like I said, there was a fire, like a dream fire inside of me, and Shikha was the one that was blowing on the embers. That's what it felt like this entire year for me, and same, just being part of this women's group was absolutely like this movement, and I didn't know there were this many women in such all together, like a little powerhouse of dreamers. And so I just felt that all the women are the ones that blow on my fire to keep it going.
Stacey, I love that. And isn't it truly amazing when women come together and how our energy, it, it just ignites, it makes us bolder, stronger, and it also gives us that community where we know, wow, there's so many others out there. And I personally feel like it makes us strive to do more, be more. And with that, Cherise, I'm going to come to you. And how did this experience empower you?
Hello, it's Cherise. At first I met Shika when we did the Abundance Mastermind gosh, earlier, I think last year, gosh, earlier this year. Anyway, and I've been doing things. We were doing a lot of projects with empowering women and doing a lot of stuff. So when I was asked to do it, I was just thinking, oh, I don't have the time, right? We use use those excuses, or sometimes it is officially or legit or whatever you want to call it. But I remember thinking, like, I don't know that I can make the space for this. And as I said yes, because I couldn't find a reason to say no. That's the way I look at things. Unless there's a really big reason why you shouldn't do it, then you need to jump in, period. There's a reason for the yes. But as I was sitting there, just what I started to see, because I came in later, I think I'm like in somewhere around the 80th or 90th mom. I don't know. I came in a lot later, but I started to really see this culture, this community of moms coming together. And not that it was different than some of the other things I've been doing. And I think for me, not I think, I know for me, as a single mom, I was very alone as a single mom because I had moved from one state to another, and I raised my kids without family around and didn't have a big community. My kids are now going to be 30 and 28 this month. I can't believe it. But it was just beautiful to see the support, but it coming from moms, not just people, not just business, not just entrepreneurs or business owners or leaders, like from true hearts and spirits from moms. And so that just gave me so much like hope and inspiration for even, when my kids start having kids, and the moms that they'll be inviting, and the women that they'll be inviting in to be moms into their lives. And I just thought it was such a beautiful experience. So I'm very, very happy. And Shikha's in the room, so I'm very glad. I got to be a little bit in the back end because Shikha was part of the mastermind, the Make It Happen mastermind. So it even got me more excited to see her working through so much of this. So I'm just super excited to be here. So thank you, everyone. Back to you, Mary.
Sheress, I love that. And I can see that how this community, especially, that we were still in COVID last year, that this definitely was a incredible support base for the whole community. So, Shikha, I just think that that's so beautiful that you created this. And Wilma, I'm going to come over to you. Let's see if you are able to unmic and tell us how this experience, has empowered you. Okay, maybe Wilma. I don't know if you are in listen only mode,
Mary,
but
Mary,
yes,
since we have two new moms that popped in, both Shika and Zamaza, can we just get them to introduce themselves quickly?
absolutely.
So first of all, I'd love to say welcome to Shika, and I'd love everybody just to come off of mute right now and give her a warm welcome because she is the star of this show. So welcome.
Welcome,
Welcome.
Shika.
Woohoo! Welcome, Shikha.
Happy to have you
Hello.
here.
Thank, thank,
I
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So, Shika, first of all, before we start asking you questions about this movement and how it started, I would love to just you have introduce yourself, and it's your name, what country you're from, and what is that one word that describes this movement, this project for you?
Well, I just think two words. I think coming together is what comes to me. It's a very simple word that comes to me is coming together. And uh, I can speak for hours on this movement, but I essentially have narrowed it down to calling it a moment right now because movements have very, very long life, and committing to that uh, is is taking us in future. But moment is today, right here, and we're calling it the Mothers United Moment because the moment has come uh, now that we must do it now, and maybe in future every year we do it now, so that it keeps multiplying. So that's the reason. That's what I can say at this point in time, because I'm totally submerged into launching the book. But the kind of love that this whole initiative is receiving, not only from outsiders but from moms here and otherwise, it's very heartwarming that alone and so many of us are together in it. So this is our moment, and that's why it's called Mothers United Moment. And coming together is the two words that come to me, and that's what's happening everywhere. So thank you for all your support, and we'll take it ahead as and when it goes, the conversation.
I love it. So we have a couple other people that have not introduced themselves. And so, Wilma, you've left and come back. Let's see if your mic's working. Oh, no. That is crappy. Sharess, would you mind popping her into another room and seeing if you can get it figured out with her? Wilma was so excited to speak, and I would love to be able to have her do that.
Yes. So Wilma, I'm going to wave at you. When you get a notification, a wave, just go ahead and accept it, and you'll go into another room with me.
Thank you so much, Sharess, for doing that. And we actually lost another mom, so we're just going to continue on. Oh, no, Frank, you're brand new. Frank, introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and what is that one word to describe this experience?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Shikha, or good evening. I am Frank Marco. I'm Susan's son. I'm from Pierce, South Dakota. And what's the word I want? Agency. Free agency.
Ooh, that one's interesting. Okay, so Mary, I'll let you take it away and continue on with your questioning. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Debbie, and welcome again, Shikha and Frank. Um, Super excited to have you with us today. So we were going around, and honestly, I think Therese, you're next, but I could be wrong. And maybe I'm saying, I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. But how did this experience empower you on your journey?
My name is Therese. You got it pretty close to right. So, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This experience impacted me so much with the connections that we've made. And I think that it started with the internal connection with myself in the questions that were brought forth with the first interviews with Shikha, and the self-portrait journey really brought my internal connection out to then share with everyone else. And in this group of 100 moms, it's that small, but it just shows you that when you are honest and bring that out for yourself and share with others, it's going to be catchy. And this is a movement that is taking on momentum. So thank you.
Thank you, Therese. And it is so true. And I will tell you, Shikha, when I was thinking about this last night, I had a vision that this is going to be so big globally. So I'm just holding that in my heart and putting it out there. With that being said, Shikha, I would love, I mean, you're the creator of this, but let us know, how did this whole experience empower you and change you?
Um, thank you so much, Mary. Uh, I've just definitely grown tremendously, but I've had many spiritual breakthroughs through the journey. But more than that, it's very strange, but I feel the presence of all these mums in my life already. And the vision of this book was that when the mother, today's modern mother especially, is sitting in the dark in the night and she's giving up because there's no guidance and things are so distant, and there is always a fight between the dream or that she wants to do and raising her children. She must get some way, a place where she can pull out something and say, if they can do it, I can. So before it happens to any other mother, it happens to me all the time, all the time. In the middle of the night, sometimes I'm up and my kids are waking me up and I just can't sleep, or there are difficult moments. I pull out somebody's story of, from my memory, and it just comes right in front and says, she did it, so can I. So I think personally, as a mother, I already feel very supported by all the mothers here, and that's what my vision was, to get this support for others. And apart from that, I think um, I see the source. And now that you've asked me, and there are people who understand this language, which is new to me, uh, is that I'm waking up every day with this very clear vision of, uh, it's a visual because I'm a photographer, of mountains, and between the two mountains and where I'm standing with my backpack, it's a golden light that's telling me to bring more people there. And it's so clear that I can't even imagine that. It seems that I'm always standing there. And so that's the sense of responsibility to bring people back to the source. And that's what I feel, that that light is telling me to bring more people. I can't, I'm nobody. I'm too small a person to um, fix anything. Uh, but as a person and responsibility, I can bring people to the place where they can see the source and start trusting the source. And the second thing that comes to me as a spiritual breakthrough is that keep yourself grounded, because this thing that you're seeing is only till the time you're grounded. It'll be taken away the minute the ego sets in. So I'm making a lot of self work that I can stay on the ground in spite of the massive response and movement, because the only thing I need to do is to bring the people to the place where the source can be shown, and from there they can understand that they don't need any outer validation. And it could be men, it could be women. There is a source that knows everything, and it's urging us to go back and say that it's all here, and trust it, and it exists in all of us. And that's what my spiritual breakthrough is. And I'm still trying to deal with it because I still don't understand it fully. But my work is slowly, slowly getting clear that my only job is to create situation and moments and opportunities for anybody around me to get them to the source, and then the source will take care of them. So that's what I can say.
Shikha, I love that. And what it really said to me is that, as leaders, and many of us have experienced this and even talked about it, as leaders, there's times that it does feel too heavy. Like you have this dream, you have this vision, you have this calling, and you've said yes, but it isn't always easy. And at times when it feels so heavy, I believe that that's when we look around with the people that are on this journey with us. And for this experience, it's the 100 moms, and how we can really admit that it has gotten heavy and you are feeling alone, or I'll speak in my language, that I am feeling alone, and that it's time to reignite that collective energy, because together we can do it easier, faster, and way more powerfully than we could ever do it alone. So it also reminded me as you spoke that I don't believe that any of us were put on this earth to say, you are the one, you are the only one that has to do all of these things. No, there was a calling and a vision ignited in your soul, but you were never meant to do it alone. You were meant to gather and collect and be that energetic magnet for others that feel the exact same way. So thank you, Shikha, for being that magnet for all of us.
Yes, Shikha, mean, the co-creation and the collaboration that you have brought forth, we, like Debbie said, we all need just to feel it. We can reconnect, and there is so much energy when we all work together. So just beautiful. I appreciate all of your words. With that, we have some new people to stage, and Wilma, I'm hoping that your mic is working too. So what we are doing, I would love Wilma, Patty, and is it Lena or Lena, to tell us your name, where the country that you're from, and one word that describes the project to you. I'll start with you, Wilma.
Hello, hear me now?
Yes.
Come on, hi. Yeah, my name is Wilma Gonzalez. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, out of Washington, USA, and the word that I chose for this project was growth. There was a lot of growth within it.
Wilma, I love that. And I can't wait to hear as we go on. We can talk a little bit more about the growth that has taken place, but absolutely. Patty, I'd love for you to unmic and introduce yourself. And the mic is down on the bottom right-hand side. There you go.
How did you know that was my challenge? All right. Hi, everyone. I have a bit of laryngitis this evening. Yes, I'm Patty, and I live in Pennsylvania, USA. And I would say I have like a popcorn situation of words that I could choose for this project. My first word was passion, passion, because I picked up Shika's passion and helped me, her passion helped me to feel even more potent and special as a mom. Um, and my second word, if I can have one more, would be collective, because as a collective, everything really does happen. So when one person is stepping up here and another person is stepping up there, another person is showing care here, another person is seeing someone there together, it's just incredible what has unfolded and how I have changed in my feelings, my presence, my passion for this project.
Wow, Patty, that's so beautiful, and it is. I'm just seeing as we have the transfer of energy, the passion builds, the collective grows stronger, and that is what the collaboration in a project of this magnitude, just the momentum, as Debbie had talked about before, just keeps it moving forward. So thank you for your share. And is it Lena or Lena?
Hi, I'm Lena, and I was born and raised in Ukraine, but currently living in Florida, the United States. And if I had to choose a word, I was between a word starting with I, and the one I'm going to go with is integration. And that word just speaks to this idea of motherhood encompassing both the action of mothering, which is mostly the logistical part of it that a lot of mothers tend to get lost in, myself included, and then simply being, just being a mother and stepping into that energy of holding the space for your family, holding the space for your children, and allowing them to grow into what they were meant to be without necessarily actively influencing that by action.
Elena, I love that. And yeah, just being, it is such a sacred thing that we can um, step back sometimes in ourselves be and let those around us be. And just, you know, be comfortable with it. So I thank you for sharing. I hope I'm saying this right. Is it Zimasa? I'd love for you to tell us, to introduce yourself, where you're from, and the word that describes the project for you.
Thank you so much. My name is Zimasa, an ethnic Xhosa name meaning honor. I am South African, and my chosen word is synergy. Being part of this project has been quite amazing in seeing all the links between the individual mothers, the connections, the similarities, yet very different experiences that connect us as moms.
I love that. So it's so exciting for me and it energizes me. Words really have a meaning and an energy behind them. So when you guys say your word, it's like I just am ignited and expanded deeper and deeper. I don't know if everybody else feels that, but I definitely do. And I'd love to hear from you as well. Shani Richards, you're welcome to come up on stage and be part of this group if you have time. If you don't, we totally understand. And yes, let's continue on. I believe that it's Sarah that's up. Sarah, can you just talk a little bit about the transformation or experience you went through with this creating this book?
The experience being a part of this book has been completely life-changing for me. I was in a coaching program with Shikha before this even came about, and I watched her interview all these amazing women, and it really gave me a sense of feeling like I wasn't alone in my journey as a mother or in life, and was very supportive for me. And then she called me and asked me to be interviewed, and I was shocked at first, and I think when opportunities like this come up, you may think that, oh, why would she want to interview me? But I can't not say yes to this because it's an opportunity that I need to take advantage of. So I instinctively and impulsively said yes. And I only had a day to prepare for an interview with her. And it's really, it changed, it empowered me. It did. It empowered me to tell my story. It empowered me to share things about my life that I hadn't really given voice to before. And to tie it all together with telling your story in 300 words and taking a picture, a self portrait that embodies those words and that story was so therapeutic over the time of from my interview to when I submitted my story to when I submitted my picture to today, where we're all getting together to celebrate the launch of this project and the launch of this book. And Shika's genius in tying it all together to your dream. At the end of each interview, we all were asked what our dream was. And I think one of the main things that this whole experience has done for me is it's empowered me to dream again. And it's empowered me to work through my story to come to a place of acceptance with it. And I'm just so grateful to have been a part of it. It's been magical.
Sarah, that is so beautiful that you feel empowered to dream again. Wow. Yes, just keep dreaming. As I had said when we started, we all have that music inside of us. So just keep playing yours and sharing it because it's a beautiful thing when we can do that. I'm going to
I
move
think
on.
I think we're at Frank, right? We've got
I,
a lot of
I,
people moving in and out, but
yeah, thanks, Debbie. I was thinking that's where we are. So Frank, I would love to hear from you. How did this project, how did it empower you?
Yeah, how it started was in a mastermind class with Debbie and Sheress, and Shikha was a part of that. And just for those that don't know how that happened, I started to learn about what she was doing and what it was about. And it's actually been a part of me for a good part of my life. The reason why I use the word free agency is because it's a gift that every single one of us were given even before we came to this earth. And it's been violated, especially with women, and it's been a generational thing. And growing up with a single mom that was not allowed to dream or, have those things, it bothered me a lot. And today I have 5 beautiful daughters and a beautiful wife that also similar went through some of the same stuff my wife did. And she's from a culture where still to this day, she's considered a second-rate citizen. And I stopped that in my house. I told her when she came here to America and things were going to be different. She wasn't going to cook all the meals. I was going to cook for her. And we were going to share everything because she was my equal and my partner in life. And this is how I was taught and raised. And women have such a powerful voice that needs to be heard. And that's because.
Frank, I think we lost you.
Did you? It's his phone.
You're back.
Can
Yeah,
you hear
you're
me?
back. Yep,
Can
you're
you hear
back.
me?
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason, these phones, if you don't keep your finger on it, it loses you. But anyway, this has become part of who I am, and my message is helping women get their voice out to the world. But when I met Shikha and understood her story, we were at the end of the mastermind class that day, and for 2 weeks I kept getting bothered inside, saying, "You need to talk to her." And so I did. I said, "Shikha, I need to ask you a question." And she said, "Well, what is it, Frank?" And I said, "Well, I don't know if I'm crossing any boundaries, and she said, "Just ask me." And I said, "My mother never had a voice." That's all I had to say. And her hands went up, folded really fast, and said, "Oh, absolutely. Your mama needs to be in the book." And I honestly believe that Sheik and my mom actually connected. We've talked, and I've watched how she emotionally was attached to my mother. So I know that they've been connected somehow. But to me, this movement is huge, and I hope with this movement we can let women know that they have the most important job on this planet, period. And that we need to protect that, we need to honor it, and we need to give them back the honor that they lost and was taken from them generations ago. So that's part of my mission today. I'm glad I'm a part of this, and that's to help women get their voices heard to the world. Thank you.
Frank, I love, since the day I met you in the mastermind, how you have it as a mission in life to have women be equal, to empower us as women, and it is so heartfelt. So I just appreciate all that you do, and keep putting it out there. It's truly amazing, your gift.
Can I say one more thing? Just so everybody knows, I no longer have 5 daughters. I have 6 because Shikha has become my daughter from India. So
So beautiful.
Thanks, Frank. Thank you so much for that. And sorry, I'm intervening in between. And I just think, Frank, that you were meant to be here to take the messages out to many, many people. And that's why your mom was meant to be here. But more than that, you were meant to be here because watching you, many men will learn to speak up. And not that they never wanted to, they wanted to, but they didn't have somebody like, even for men, it's been very difficult to speak up for this, and you've paved a path for that. And I really thank you for asking me that, can you be, because it was meant to be. And once round is done, I would like to just quickly talk about why it was 300 words, because recently I've been hearing the word 300 words a lot. So whenever you're ready, I want to tell you why it was 300 words to people. Thank you.
Right now is works fine, Shikha. Go for it.
Okay. So I hear this a lot, very interestingly, that it was a photo book and then there were 300 words. Sorry, I've headed a poetry movement for 12 years, and I used when I first started to express myself, I would go on and on and on and on, and my poetry mentor would just keep deleting my lines and cutting my lines, and they're like, not needed, not needed, not needed. And I would just keep getting irritated because I was so attached to my beautiful lines and the poetry I was writing, until I realized that I don't have to write all the details. Nobody is interested in my details. And he was a very upfront kind of a mentor. So he's like, nobody is interested in what the details are. Everybody is interested in what it is in for them. And if you just cut the whole thing and give them the message, you will change their lives through your poetry. So having learned that, I kept the words 300, because we've lived so many moments that we want to speak about, that it can be forever. Books can be written, but sometimes with just a picture and just a message out is good enough for changing lives. And then people who really, really, really want to get in will go after you and figure out all the details. So that's why it's 300 words. And it is the most difficult thing to do, 300 words, because you have to cut all the stories that you're telling yourself or you've been telling yourself, and come straight to the point and tell the world that this is what I'm trying to say. And that takes a lot of effort and a journey itself. So my first mission was to impact the first 100 lives, which are uh, these 100 stories, so that they have the ability to express themselves visually and then by words, but limiting it to this 300 words so that they don't get lost into the emotional thing, and they know that they are here to make an impact. So I've been wanting to address this, so thank you for giving me this opportunity to say why there were 300 words there.
Thank you, Shika. And I have to agree with you when it comes to just expressing ourselves in a short short amount of time. I'm actually myself writing a book, and I had to create a bio of 250 words. So it's really hard to cut down and get to the point. But the fact that you have done 300 words and the picture, I am so excited to see the essence that is captured. And we will get to that, because soon I want to hear all of the details of launch. But we have a few more people in our round. I think we have Wilma, Lena, and Zamesa to go through and tell us, how did this experience empower you? And I'm going to start with you, Wilma.
Hello. Yes. I This was a journey that started last year when I was with Chica in another group, but she was watching me quietly, but she knew I was there. And then one night she told me, um, she called me and she said, Wilma, I need to talk to you. I didn't have any idea what it was, and she had in mind to be interviewed in this program, in one of her interviews to be one of the moms, and I I was I shockingly accepted, but I was still in awe because I never thought she was going to call me for that. I thought she was going to call me for something else. And also that I was on camera, also while she called me on Messenger and I was on camera talking to her. We prepared for that night, and it was September of last year. And it was the night that, um, it was, we were going to be celebrating my dad's, anniversary of passing. So it was, everything came together as heaven sent, as a message that I needed to be on this book and that my dad was present. But it also opened many other doors because while I was interviewing during that year after the interview, it opened my communication with my daughter. She learned a lot of what I went through about me being in this book. And eventually she opened up about the subject that we never talked about. And she had a molestation when she was 4 years old, and we never talked about it again. And it was in one conversation with Frank, one of the interviews with Frank, that I was just crying in the parking lot when Shika was interviewing Frank. And my daughter was with me. And she got so emotional just listening to Frank's interview. And she told me, I want a husband like that. And we were just crying. And I didn't know that this was so impactful. In so many ways. Me writing about and talking about my dad, then opening up with my daughter, it created. So this year has been of growth. That's the word that I chose because my daughter was able to open up because of this conversation that started with Chica and all the interviews that she heard with all the moms, that she was mostly all the time in the car with me, or I put them in the living room, So it was more than just this interview, more than me. It involved the family. And today we're having the best relationship, open relationship, talking about everything, healing. And I was able to, when I turned in my 300 words, like Chica was saying, there's these things that really, these periods of life that we need to bring up, but I was not, I left that little part out. And I know my editor, she sent it back to me and she's like, it's not clicking, I'm not feeling it. And it was because I was leaving this special part out, that went on with my daughter. And then I added that part that was very important, for me to heal and for this to be transmitted in my story. Um, and then she felt it, and it's a period of growth. When we got together with the moms and virtually, I felt the energy. I felt the, I stayed all we stayed we could have let go of the interview. I mean, I know Chica came in for a little bit, and then we stayed in that chat room. We didn't want to go, we wanted it to continue. And then I know that Debbie said, okay, we have to let go. We can do it again some other day. So the energy's there. And the light that Shika has been, you know just she's just bright, and she guides us with this powerful energy, every time she shows up. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Every time you speak, you just amaze me, Wilma. I remember the day that you had your interview, and Shika said, "You have to turn your camera on," and you're like, "Really?" Shika, I would invite you to at any moment to chime in because you know us so intimately. You know our stories, you know our fears, you see our light. And we spoke about that at the virtual gala in such a beautiful way that, it might have been you, Wilma, but somebody brought it up that you believed in us before we even did.
Thank you, Debbie, for allowing me to do that. I just Wilma's will like I remember all the moments where I've picked up, and it surprised me, but because there was always a message that came in front of me, I had to take it. And Wilma was always there, but she was never there. uh, I didn't know how she looked. And one night I just woke up at about 12 o'clock, and I was raising a baby at that time when I was doing all these interviews, with my night duties. So I was up and I was just like, Wilma comes to me, but I don't know how Wilma looks. And I want to, and being a photographer, I needed to put my face to it. And I still remember Wilma that I said, Wilma, are you up? And she's like, yes, I am. And I called her and she's like, what? It was meant to be a video call? And she just picked it up by mistake. And she was taken by surprise. She's like, I don't do video calls. And I'm like, exactly why we need to talk, because I just feel that. And while I was telling her, the minute she told me that it's her dad, she's told me the whole story of how connected she is with her father. And that very, and I said, okay, just in few hours I need to interview because somebody just backed out, and you need to be on because from tomorrow onwards again, there's all the mums are there. And she said 8 hours. I have never done a live. I was like, that's it. This is what it is, and you're going to do it. And then before keeping, she like, may I tell you that it's my dad's 10th death anniversary today? And I was like, now I'm not going to even allow you to back out. This is so meant for being there. And since then, I've seen Wilma grow so much. And it's more than this book or me. It was her time. And that's why this thing is called Mothers United Moment. The moment has come for so many of us to speak up, including my own mother's story, that this is going to be special. So thank you, Wilma, for letting me speak up very freely and say, Wilma, please come in, and trusting it. So thank you so much. And you're just beautiful. And it's brought me to tears when you told me about your daughter. I I always said it ripples out, and it's rippled out in such a beautiful way that bless her, that we could heal her through just talking like that. And thank you so much. This is just beautiful.
Thank you, Chica. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wilma, and thank you, Shikha. I wrote down two words when you were speaking, Wilma, and it was divine timing. Um, yeah, you were so guided, and thank you for being vulnerable and for sharing your story, because I know that you will touch others and they will have courage to speak to because of what you have done by leading first. So thank you for that. I would like to move over to Lena. Love to hear how this project has empowered you.
So that this was the pin documenting my own journey from doing motherhood in terms of action, living a mother, and like Frank was talking about, there's always that generational pain, things that roll downhill from generations past, and some people have more than others, but there's always these things, and I think I bring it up in my story. It's that need for comparison, it's that need for community, fear, and that trust and surrender to higher power, that trend of action, doing things that mothers do, to being. I was able to address each of those three fears, three roadblocks, as I would call them. And I see motherhood as us being able to stand at sort of almost like a crossroads, to where when we become aware, we have the ability to choose. And at that point, we can choose to change the path for the future generations, so they don't have to continue that pain and suffering that might have rolled downhill from the other generations for us. And so this project basically documented that progression that has taken years in the making in my life, and is continuing to evolve. As some of you may know, there's always the next step. And the way I ended up in this project is I personally always knew this was going to be something I would be a part of. And It was completely guided, and Shikha was amazing at just picking up on that and reaching out at just the right moment. And maybe, very possibly, I was one of the last mothers to be included in this book. And I'm just so grateful. I'm full of gratitude and just awed to be able to stand with all of you in this way and in this place and celebrate all the things that we have been collectively able to learn, and hopefully pass that down to other mothers who will reach for this book in the middle of the night in the time of struggle.
Wow, Lena, so powerful. And I just had come to me awareness. Your voice, you're talking about the roadblocks that we all go through and, we work through. There are many of them generational. But just the awareness that you have brought, and as you said, there will be many who will just pick this up, and it will give them strength, it will empower them. So thank you for sharing. Zimasa, I am going to come to you, and then we're going to go to Debbie.
Thank you so much. I come from South Africa, a country that has very valid and real rules that are not written anywhere. Some are religious, some are just from social constructs. And during my interview with Shikha, I mentioned to her an incident that happened in 1990. I was 12, doing grade 8. And at the time, no, there was not much thinking behind it. I had walked into a retail store with my mother, a working woman, a teacher, and she had passingly mentioned that she liked a certain pair of slacks. And I said, well, why don't you get them for yourself? Because in my mind, being a child, she's working, she can afford to. And her response was, what will your dad say? At the time, being a child, I said, well, what's the worst that could happen? Just get a pair of slacks and let's move on. And she did. And from now on, she's been a woman who can actually wear slacks. So when we're talking about women empowerment, sometimes it gets down to such minute detail that seemingly is not relevant to certain people, but for the personal being, for that person, there's so much power behind being able to actually choose to wear a pair of slacks. And looking back, only now as an adult, I realize that my mother was not allowed by society to make that sort of decision. It's not written anywhere, but that is a power that she did not have. And as a 12-year-old child, I opened her eyes at that time and dared her to do it. As a divorced person, this part is in my story as well. As a divorced person, the divorce itself opened my eyes to new possibilities in terms of what else I could do with myself. In South Africa, I've never seen a married woman riding a motorbike, for instance. Dreadlocks normally would be a big no-no. Having tattoos means that you must belong to a gang in some prison somewhere. And these are some of the little decisions that at a personal level that women should be able to make on their own without being judged, without being made to feel like outcasts, and be accepted as responsible, economically active citizens of that particular country. As I said, this sounds like small decisions, but they have a huge impact on one's wellness, on one's being able to pursue one's dreams without necessarily interfering with the other people around us. So this is what the divorce meant for me. This is what just picking up a pair of slacks and putting it on as meant for my mother. And during my interview with Shikha, I had to focus then, forward focus and look at my own kids. I'm a mother of two young girls. Now, one is now 19, the other is 14. So, with this knowledge of what my society expects of us as women, as mothers, what am I teaching? What am I imparting with my own girls? And I am very proud to say that when I hear their stories, we've come a long way through the generations. And this is what I want to do as well in my life, empower more women to be able to make safe decisions that are fulfilling to themselves on a daily basis and not be restricted by limiting beliefs, by expectations. And my interview with Shikha actually brought this into such stark light. It's one of those things that you don't think about until someone actually makes you talk about. And to think that, I mean, seriously, as far back as my mother, she's now 71, couldn't wear a pair of slacks. Why? Why couldn't I just ride a bike and have my wind therapy and enjoy that freely if I'm not interfering with my neighbors? Why can't my young girls do what they wish to do going forward? Why can't any woman out there in the world live their best lives according to their own rules as long as they're not harming anyone else? So when I listen to the stories of the other women, out of the 100 champion moms, sometimes I pick up the same trend that there have been limitations, there have been hesitance, not because we don't want to, but we're made to feel bad for wanting to, for daring to be. And no woman deserves that. So this is my vision for the book, that we shall reach out there into the rest of the world, those women who have not yet had the voice to express themselves, to think, well, I'm not alone. I might want something different, but I'm valid. I deserve to be here. I deserve to be happy. And I deserve to pursue my dreams. Thanks, ladies.
Wow, thank you
Wow.
so much. Yeah, that was fantastic. I loved everything that you said. Um, I specifically loved what you said. Until we say it out loud, we don't even realize we have these beliefs or these limitations. So, Shika, I would love to give you an opportunity to just respond to that, because you can definitely see the transformation that happened, not only with her, but with many of us. Shika, we can't hear you, or at least I can't.
I cannot either, Debbie.
Maybe try again,
Um,
Shika, and if not, pop out, come back in. Yeah. I will go next just because she needed a little bit of moment there. So, when I think about what this meant for me, the transformation that it took me on, is I was already on this journey of self discovery, self acceptance, self love, but I honestly felt like I was on it alone. It was like many of the people, my old friends or my community, just didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it. There was a time that I didn't understand what self love was. To me, it was selfish. And many of you guys have heard that me speak about that. But when I got it, when I realized that we must first heal ourselves, we must first feel worthy of that healing and those decisions, that we must take care of ourselves and understand who we are at a soul level, not who our parents told us to be, our husbands told us to be, our work told us to be, but who we are. When we can tap into that, we are truly unleashed and unstoppable. And the movement, to me, allowed me to dream even bigger. It allowed me to understand that there was more people that felt this way, and that through their trials and tribulations, they had really made that choice through awareness. They made a choice to step up and step in and lean into who they be, to answer that calling that was on their heart. And so when Shikha first started talking about a self-portrait movement, I was like, as a photographer, I was, oh my goodness, yes, that comes right into what I teach. This is exactly what the message that I'm sending out to the world, that you can create your reality, that you have the choice, but you have to be aware of where you're entangled or believing old habits and patterns. And what you just spoke about to me was those cultural beliefs, those society's belief, those things that, we maybe as change makers and visionaries, we see things a little differently, but something's still telling us it's not possible. And yet this movement, these hearing everybody's stories as Shikha, interviewed, and I got more in depth and really learned from these mothers, it really became of like, these are my people and they believe what I believe. And together we can really help the world become more aware, not only aware of where we struggled, but the empowering part of it, the, the hope, the possibilities, the movement, the people that are seeking. We heard over and over and over again in the last few days as we've heard people's stories, we heard how this was a lifeline. We heard that Shikha reached out to them just at the most important moment of their life. These pivotal moments, these lines in the sand times, and how over this last year, it has not only just been a lifeline that said, I'm here for you, I love you, I see you, you matter, but it took people to that. And now what? How can I reach out? How can I change? How can I shift? How can I grow? And through that, that's what I believe this movement is all about. That's why I am sitting here pushing every single day for people to tell their stories and to share on their public profiles, because I don't believe this movement, all the work that's went into it, is meant for us to keep a secret. It's not a coffee book that's going to sit on a shelf somewhere. Whew, sorry, but it's a place of pride, because we all got here for a reason. And I believe that Shikha knows every one of our souls, and her soul reached out to our soul and was talking long before that interview ever happened. So I just want to give my gratitude to Shikha for being that warrior that stood up and said yes, so that we could all say yes to ourselves.
Wow, wow. Debbie, thank you. I mean, you just tied that all up so beautiful. And Shikha, you are, to me, you're like the divine connector here. And it is so, so amazing. I mean, Zamasa, I go back to you and each and every one of you who is here today. You use the power of your voice, freedom of choice, truly voicing and living and validating your core essence. And it is such a beautiful collaboration. So I thank you all for, just putting it out there. What I would like to know before we all leave is, Shikha, if you are back, please give us a little idea of the launch and where we can find this, so that everyone who is listening can connect and get a copy of the book, watch the, I know there's YouTube videos, so please share that. Shikha, I can't hear you. Can you hear her, Debbie?
No, I can't. I'm not sure what is going on with this app today. If you want to just try one more time, Shikha, to pop out and come back in. We'll see if it works. And if anybody else has something to say before she does that. Okay, so Shikha has just said to me that I will take over. So I would just love if anybody just heard something they want to speak about. I want to give everybody the space to do that, and then we will wrap it up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Frank and then Therese.
Um, I really loved what you shared, Debbie, and I, through my own experiences, believe that it's very important for all of us to have walked through our own trials and come to the other side so that we understand how to communicate with people that are still going through it and not being afraid of our mess, the things that we've lived through, but using that as a tool to help other people um, get in touch with themselves and how to get to the other side of that. This message is, I believe, that Shikha has started here is a beginning to some really, really great stuff. I get emotional every time we talk, just because it means that much to me. So I am honored that all you women even allow me to be a part of this circle. But God bless every single one of you. And I'm always there and available for anybody that needs help walking through their journey, just as support. And love you, and you all have a beautiful day.
Thanks, Frank. Therese.
Thank you, Frank. I think you're our mascot, our male mascot of this movement. We always love hearing you. Um, for me, the process and the timing of when Shika reached out to me, it all of a sudden just illuminated an idea that how we see ourselves can be so disruptive to following our dream. And I want to speak to the fact that Shika woke up one day just being inspired by her dream and her internal voice saying, I need to do this. And the obstacles were huge. And uh, it just inspires me so much that she started this very large project and at times questioned, what am I doing? Other people questioned her and she kept doing it. No, I have to do it. This is must happen. She always says this must happen. So it so inspires me, and it inspired me in my interview with her. Is I had never even thought about doing mirror work before, but I started to delve into that and did a couple workshops about looking at yourself in the mirror and how you see ourselves. And it correlated with the self-portrait part of what Shika does and how she incorporates the lens of how we see ourselves, and that we can broaden that perspective. So I just want to thank everyone that's here, that every single person's share and story just expands that, and it's an evolving movement that is knows no bounds. So thank you.
Well said. Well said. So as we close up, I want to just let you guys look that at the top I pinned a different link. So the first link was all of our interviews. I'd love for each of the moms today to go back to the YouTube channel and share out your interview and just talk about why it was important. And then I've now put on the actual website that talks about each of us that's in the book, and there's more coming. So that's where we'll go back to for the next several days. The book launch happens on November the 13th, and but 4 or 5 days like from this time onwards to the actual official launch where the women are on stage unveiling their stories, there's lots happening. So the momentum is being built right now, and so we will continue to bring things like this to you so that you can share them out. Sarah, I believe you have something to say as well. Maybe.
I was going to say what you just said, Debbie. You summed it up really well, that the book launch is officially happening this Sunday, 5 to 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And it'll be streamed live to Shika's YouTube channel and to her Facebook. And over the next 4 days, the moms that are in person in India are going to have a fabulous time with an action-packed, really powerful 4 days together that I sure wish I could be there for. So I'm wishing them all the best, and I can't wait to see the launch of this book on Sunday. And thank you very much for today.
That was perfect summary. So as we are ready to say our goodbyes, I would just love to popcorn around right now again and just say the one word. That's all you have to do is say the one word that today meant to you. And we're going to start with you, Mary.
Love.
Stacey,
Connection.
Frank,
Freedom.
Wilma,
Growth.
Sarah,
Empowerment.
Therese,
Joy.
Zima,
Unity.
and Shikha can't speak. So let me see if she wrote anything. I'm going to say her word is united. Doesn't that feel perfect for her? And my word is blessed. Thank you so much, everybody. We're going to close the room now, but our hearts are forever connected.
Thank you, everyone, and with love and gratitude for all of your shares today.
Bye bye.
Thank you all.